I love a varied collection of unique epic percussion. There are a lot of percussive libraries available, but only a handful of them deliver a well-rounded lineup of traditional and non-traditional ensembles and solo drums. I'm sure I'll get around to covering them all at some point. But for now, I'd like to focus on three I really like. Thunder X3M, Tupans X3M, and Taikos X3M from Strezov Sampling. First, let's check out Thunder X3M. This library surprisingly doesn't get as much attention as some other epic percussion titles, but it's a top library to have at hand nonetheless. There's a creative selection of recorded ensembles which contain instruments like timpani, toms, bass drums, surdos, grancasa, and water jugs being played in various ways. So each ensemble has its own interesting sound and application. Then we get solo instruments to provide definition. And we also get a great range of metals, including the sound of an anvil being hit with chains, which is cool. There's some really unique sounds to be found here, as the library focuses more on interesting combinations that work well in different scoring styles, and they're provided with a clear, natural tone with minimal EQ and compression for the main mics. And two extra processed channels for most of the instruments. A bass channel to add depth and body, and a compressed channel to add more punch. This makes it a lot easier to get the sound you want without spending too much time mixing. And it's all contained in a single patch, so you can load up any instrument into 12 different slots and change the pitch, pan and mic control of each slot. So if you want to load up a bunch of the same instrument, then pitch and pan them to get a massive sound, you can. It's all pretty nifty, and it can be fun experimenting with different patch styles. And just in case you want something different, there's also a bunch of processed and designed sounds provided. And even a selection of the instruments recorded through an amp. Of course, being a collection that contains instruments from two previous Thunder volumes, thus the Thunder X3M title, there are some drums that sport less velocity layers and aren't as tight to play. But overall, the quality and consistency of the collection is still high, with plenty of round robins to go around. Then we have Tupans Extreme. All the same features as Thunder Extreme can be found here, so we can focus on the sound. Initially, I thought Tupans Extreme was just going to be some simple expansion featuring a few instruments to get a straight-up slamming sound. But it turns out this library is a lot broader than that. The core content is presented as an ensemble, division, and solo lineup. You get 8 players with beaters, brushes, mallets, and sticks. Then 3 players with the same variants, then solo Tupan with the same. There's actually a lot of variety here, and it's consistent. It allows you to get a full-bodied sound, a snare sound, a softer sound, and clacks for timekeeping. So it really covers a lot of ground on its own for different styles rather than just being a one-trick pony. This is made even better by the experimental combinations and impacts recorded. And some handy medals thrown in. And even a bunch of effects hits and transitions. For a Tupans library, this packs a pretty big punch when it comes to variety and useful content. The close mics are clear and crisp so you can get a tamer sound. Or you can use the Deca mics for wetness. And the hall mics for a wider, punchy sound. top stuff. Then finally, we have Taikos X3M. I've found there are usually two types of Taiko libraries. Ones that focus on the raw, dull tone of the instruments, and ones that bring out the punchier, clearer elements. Taikos X3M is one of the latter, and I think it's great. The Taiko, Hiradaiko, Shimi Daiko, and other unique combinations have been presented really well here. It's crisp, but still has plenty of room and flavour. A really focused sound overall. And once again, I was surprised to find that rather than focusing on the traditional Taiko family, the library provides creative variations of the instruments recorded with other drums, woods and metals. So this ain't just a Taiko library. You get the traditional instruments as ensembles and soloists, then you get some cool combination recordings. Then you get some metals and woods chucked in to top it off. Once again, we're given some great core content with a bunch added to take you that extra mile. Just like Tupans X3M, Taikos X3M has its own flavour and functions as its own all-round percussion library rather than just being a simple expansion or specialist library. Everything's been really well thought out. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised at how well the Tupans and Taikos held up to the original and slightly more expensive Thunder X3M. Each one of these three libraries is a great standalone product. If you want full coverage for your percussion tracks with kicks, toms, snares, medals, woods, and plenty of interesting mixed ensembles, Thunder X3M is one of the best libraries you can get, alongside collections like Strike Force or the old Storm Drum 2. If you're looking for something with a bit more slam, Tupans is perfect for a crispy, earthy, pounding tone, and it has plenty of design content to add flavour. If Taikos is your thing, and you're tired of the same old Taiko sound, then Taikos offers a unique and top-sounding selection of focused content. Or if you're a percussion enthusiast like me, you'll want the lot. These three are definitely some of my very favourites all said and done. And that's that. I'll see you next time with another library. Check you later.